BJ Penn is not even close to the top 15 of all time. He might be like a top 30 fighter. You have no clue? Another horrible take? I'm delusional. You're not giving him his due? Bias towards my era? Contradiction. How am I contradicting myself? Lucas is a boxing fan who only respects undefeated records. Not true. Roided up Shirk, Prime Sanchez, Prime K-Flow. Prime K-Flow. Come on, dude. This is what I'm talking about. Like, K-Flow? Kenny Florian? Come on, dude. I don't mind him being better than Izzy. I'm not a recency bias guy. You keep referencing wins and losses? Yeah, that's how it works. That's how the game works. If you lose a fight, that is not a good thing. Well, we're going to sit here and give guys participation trophies? I guess everyone's on the GOAT list. That's that pipsqueak strength for you. I gotta knock some sense into these MMA fans, man. Fedor Emelianenko. Fedor Emelianenko. This ain't Peaches and Creamville. Peaches and Creamville. Peaches and Creamville. BJ Penn. Speaking of BJ Penn, someone said that BJ Penn should have been an all-time win in my video the other day. And I think that I saw a lot of people commenting that stuff. How is this guy not an all-time win? How is this guy not an all-time win? Because I clarified it to me in top 15 ever. I don't think BJ Penn's a top 15 fighter ever. He used to be, but I don't know, man. A lot of those wins haven't aged well, and he lost a ton of fights. Another horrible take. So where does BJ Penn rank? Where would you have him at? Number 8 all time? Oh, yeah. Above who? DC? Yeah. Got him above DC? Okay. Usman? Yeah. Got him above Usman, huh? Dominic Cruz? Come on. This is the thing, man. How is he not top 10? Because there's easily 10 guys that are better than him. Yeah, most people are blinded by nostalgia. He might be like a top 30 fighter. Bias towards my era. So how come I have Anderson Silva in the top 10? How come I have John Jones up there? How come, for example, I have GSP in my top 5? If I'm so biased towards my era. Come on. Dominic Cruz was absolutely killing it before I even became a UFC fan. He's in my top 15. Oh, yeah. If I'm so biased towards my era, where's Izzy on my top 15? He ain't there. BJ Penn even lost a street fight. I mean, dude, he was an old man. I don't really care about that. You have no clue? I do. I do have a clue. BJ Penn is not even close to the top 15 of all time. Where would you have him? Where would you have him, Truth Seeker? Where? BJ Penn is in the top 30, maybe. I'm delusional. Oh, okay. So where is he? Again, give me a placement. Give me a placement. Prime BJ Penn would be a fringe top 15 in lightweight right now. Dude, Prime BJ Penn wouldn't even be competitive in the lightweight division top 15. Prime BJ Penn would be maybe competitive in the featherweight division, but still would never even crack the top 5. That doesn't mean that if you took BJ, put him in today's day and age with what people know today, the knowledge, training, philosophy, recovery, of course you would do well, but come on. Yeah, but I don't care if he lost to Ryan Hall. I'm just saying in general, like he lost a ton before that too. It's not just about record. I know. I don't care about his losses at the very end of his career. I'm not so concerned with him losing to Yair and some of these other guys. I'm not concerned with that stuff, but he lost a ton in the beginning of his career too. You're not giving him his due? Okay. Okay. Where should I put him? Is BJ Penn better than Max Holloway all time? No, he's not. Is BJ Penn better than Jose Aldo? No, he's not. Is BJ Penn better than Volk? Is he better than GSP? Is he better than Usman? Is he better than DC? Is he better than John Jones? Is he better than Anderson Silva? Is he better than Stipe? No. Contradiction. How am I contradicting myself? How about you tell me where he's at? All subjective. Okay, fair enough. So if it's all subjective, then you can't hate on the fact that I don't think he's a top 15 all-time fighter. And also, I don't think it's all subjective. I don't think it is. I think that you can objectively figure out that Alexander Volkanovski is a better fighter, resume-wise, pedigree-wise, than, I don't know, Dan Henderson, based on the ratio of wins to losses, the people that he was beating and how well they were doing in the UFC, how dominant his performances were, how many defenses he had. You can figure this stuff out. Top 20? I think he might be top 30. BJ Penn's definitely an all-time great. He's an all-time great, but when I said all-time, I mean top 15. That's what I meant in my video, and I clarified that. All-time win means like top 15 all-time. BJ beat Matt Hughes in his prime. Yeah, no, I know BJ Penn had some monstrous wins. Absolutely. I know he had some monstrous wins, but he also had a bunch of losses. Roided up Shirk, Prime Sanchez, Prime K-Flow. Prime K-Flow. Come on, dude. This is what I'm talking about. Like, K-Flow? Kenny Florian? Come on, dude. Top 25 for sure. Different eras. I do think he's up there. He's up there, but he's not top 15. He's not in the convo for top 15 all time. Back in the day, he was. Like 15 years ago, 100%. BJ Penn could literally be considered like a top 10 all-time fighter, but times change. People get passed up. It's how it is. It's how it is in sports. I'm not saying, dude, if I didn't know what I was talking about, I'd say BJ Penn's not even top 100 or some shit like that. I know BJ Penn was a stud. Lucas, ask any pro fighter about BJ Penn. I'm sure they're going to absolutely glaze him. That's the same thing that basketball players do with any old school basketball player. It's the same thing baseball players do with any old school baseball player. I can just watch BJ Penn and I can see that, yes, he was good for back in his day, but compared to people today, he wouldn't be able to compete. But let's look at BJ Penn's record. Man, that's a ton of L's. Jens Pulver, loss. Karol Uno, loss. Lyoto Machida, I mean, not a big deal, but whatever. Lyoto was way bigger than him. GSP, split decision loss. Matt Hughes got KO'd. GSP loss. Frankie Edgar loss. Frankie Edgar loss. Yeah, I mean, he's pretty good, but what are his wins? Matt Hughes, he's got a win over Matt Hughes. So he's like 1-1 with Matt Hughes. He's got a win over Renzo Gracie. Don't even think that's that crazy. Pulver, we're really going to glaze a Jens Pulver win. Joe Stevenson. Okay, are we really going to glaze a Joe Stevenson win? Sean Sherk, fair enough. Sean Sherk's decent, but I mean, like, why are we going crazy for Sean Sherk? Why? Because he was a champ in what, 2004? Why are we going crazy for Sean Sherk? Diego Sanchez, it's a good win back in the day. Kenny Florian, I don't think Kenny Florian was that amazing. He was okay. I'm sorry, I can't put someone top 15 all time for beating Kenny Florian, being 1-1 with Matt Hughes, and beating Dwayne Ludwig, and beating Matt Serra. It's just like, he was good, but I think he just needed a little bit more. He's good. BJ Penn's good. You either recognize legends or... I do recognize BJ Penn as a legend. To say that I don't recognize him as a legend is nuts. I am saying I recognize him as a legend. I can name 15 fighters that have had better careers. That's all I'm saying. I do recognize him as a legend. I would never sit here and tell you that BJ Penn was like a bad fighter. Absolutely not. I think, like, you know, I talk about Forrest Griffin. I talk about Rich Franklin as guys that aren't that great. BJ Penn is on another level than these guys. BJ Penn's obviously great, but I just don't necessarily think he's top 15 all time. I think you can maybe make the argument that he's top 25, top 20. I don't mind top 20. I don't mind top 20. You may be able to make the argument that he's better than Adesanya, though, honestly. I don't mind him being better than Izzy. I'm not a recency bias guy because, you know, BJ was losing to like much bigger guys in the beginning of his career, whereas Izzy's losing to Marvin Vettori. I'm joking. No, he's not top 150. Come on. That's terrible. Izzy's not top 150. It's close, though. It is close. BJ Penn, there is a conversation. I mean, let's see how many losses he had until he was an old head. He had one loss to Pulver. He had a loss to Machida. That's not a big deal, though. GSP, that's not a big deal. Matt Hughes, that's not a big deal, and he's also beat Matt Hughes. GSP, Edgar. How old was he in 2010? BJ Penn age. I mean, I don't know, man. He's losing a lot. How old was he in 2014? 36? I don't think his losses to Frankie Edgar were that bad. I think BJ has a good legacy, for sure. BJ Penn fought Dean Thomas. I'm not only going on record, dude. I don't only go on record. That's why I rank Anderson Silva super high, and it's not just because of the quantity of his wins. And it's not, if I was only a guy that goes on record, then I should rate Anderson Silva higher than I do. I look at who they're beating, the caliber of opponents that they're beating, and I do take into account the time period. If Izzy actually had beat the people his record shows, he would be higher than Anderson. If Izzy had literally beat everyone that his record shows, you're right. He could be higher than Anderson, but he lost to Whitaker. He lost to Yoel Romero. And he also had legit, like, for real, like, losses that even the biggest casual couldn't deny against Blachowicz, Pereira, Strickland. I mean, Strickland, Blachowicz, and Pereira, those aren't the worst losses, but those are losses. Those are the losses that are going to kick you out of the top 15. You know what the losses that are going to kick you out of the top 20? A loss to old man Yoel. You know what else is going to kick you out of the top 20? A loss to fucking Bobby Knuckles. Chinny Man Whitaker. I'm joking. Whitaker's good. He ain't no slouch. Whitaker's one of the best middleweights ever. Truth. Like, for example, you're saying that I care about record. I care a lot about winning in your prime. If you're in your prime and you're losing a couple of fights every now and then that's something that does matter a lot. I think the most impressive legacies are the guys that were never losing in their prime and have very little losses at the beginning of their career. I am willing to look past losses a little bit if it's like you losing when you're as a flyweight, maybe 36, or as a heavyweight 40. I can look past those a little bit. But for Izzy, he lost too many times in his early 30s for me. You keep referencing wins and losses. Yeah, you have to. Yeah, that's how it works. That's how the game works. If you lose a fight, that is not a good thing. We're going to sit here and give guys participation trophies. I guess everyone's on the GOAT list. Everyone's not number one all time if losses don't matter. Come on. Yeah, of course I have to bring up wins and losses. Lucas is a boxing fan who only respects undefeated records. Not true. Not true at all. Habib had an undefeated record when he was fighting Daryl Horcher. I would never even call him the GOAT. You need to have amazing wins. And I don't call Habib the GOAT. If I was all about undefeated records, I'd say Habib's the GOAT. No, he needs to have better quality wins. Connor, DP, Gagey, those are good wins. They're not the absolute best wins. You know what better wins are? Oliveira. That's a better win. Islam Makhachev, Volkanovski, those are better wins. Ask Gracie. Yeah, Royce Gracie was like an old head back in the day. Of course, BJ was good. How does BJ Penn compare to Kamaru Usman? How does he compare to Charles Oliveira? How does he compare to Islam Makhachev and Habib? Talking about Royce Old Man Gracie. Yeah, I'm sure the guys that BJ used to beat up back in the day would speak highly of him. You don't respect... I do respect Royce Gracie, but I'm just speaking facts. Like, come on. Are you under the impression that fighters from 20 years ago were on the level of fighters today? There were thousands of people getting into MMA back in the day. There's millions today. The talent pool's 10 times deeper. More than that, 100 times deeper. Come on. It's not disrespectful at all. It's just the truth. Put any 145er from Jose Aldo's earliest title wins against Volkanovski. They all get finished within 2 rounds. Put Mark Hominick against Volkanovski and see what happens. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.